I'm about to.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. I said those in the wrong order. Welcome back. To another video. Before we continue, we so this is a second recording because Lucy forgot to record his own voice earlier.
Technically, my dumbass forgot to switch to my actual microphone, which apparently it keeps switching to my voice on microphone. And
Uh,
yeah, I was using it for a Roblox video, even though I did promise I was gonna quit. But this is my actual last one, and I'm actually done for playing Roblox. That's just cancer.
all right. Okay. So today, ladies and gentlemen, me and Lucid. We're gonna take a ride, and we're gonna talk about the internet's most scariest horror stories. These are mostly creepypastas, urban legends, different stories like that throughout the internet. If you don't know what a creepypasta is, search it up yourself. We're not gonna tell you. Um, but anyways, me and Lucy are gonna talk about the more notorious and well-known stories. And if you're gonna want to see more videos like this, remember to comment below and tell us if you want to see another video like this. Um, anyway, Lucid, let's set the mood. Hit cue the music, and yeah.
Yes.
So I'll send you your story, Lucid. You
Okay.
start first, right?
But one question though.
Yeah.
How do I even cue the music? The Ayuwoki began as a YouTube video created in 2009 by fiction writer Thomas Regensdorf to promote an animatronic robot with a mask resembling the distorted likeness of the late Michael Jackson. In early 2019, it morphed into a meme, a challenge, and an urban legend that also spawned a video game. It caused several authorities to calm any fears regarding the meme's influence. The Ayuwoki gets its name from a Spanish misspelling of the lyrics. Quote unquote, Annie, are you okay? From the song, quote unquote, Smooth Criminal.
1999. 1999 is a creepypasta that was created around the early days of creepypasta. It tells the story of a Canadian man named Elliot who is investigating a mysterious public access channel called Paladon Local 21. The mascot of the channel is Mr. Bear. Start of the series called Mr. Bear's Cellar. The show depicted of course, Mr. Bear talking to the children through the TV show. It seemed, well, something obviously that kids would want to watch. That was until the show got cancelled because of a recent incident that I'll talk about right now. Elliot remembers writing to Mr. Bear when he was younger, and during the investigation, he finds a police station with several Mr. Bear tapes, including an episode where Mr. Bear murders several children. In one of the last updates, Cameron says he was contacted by an email address that supposedly belongs to Mr. Bear. The blog ends on a cliffhanger after Kabdan mentions the email address. To this day, no one knows what or who created the Mr. Bear show, but most important of all, no one knows who was behind the mask.
The Backrooms is a short passage originally posted to 4chan's X board on 2019 as a caption to the photograph of a hallway with yellow carpets and wallpaper. The story purports purport
Reports, yeah.
purports that by quote unquote no clipping out of the bounds in real life, one may enter a realm known as the Backrooms, an empty wasteland of corridors and rooms with nothing but quote unquote the stink of old moist carpet, the madness of mono yellow, the endless backroom noise of fluorescent lights at maximum hum buzz, and approximately 600 million square miles of randomly segmented empty rooms to be trapped in. As well as malevolent, I can't even pronounce that,
Oh, malevolent.
malevolent entities that hunt the traveler across three separate areas of the backrooms, quote unquote, levels 0 through 2. Over time, the Backrooms has been successfully expanded into mythos, with online writers adding information on new levels, entities, items, and phenomena within the Backrooms. The location in the original photograph which spawned the Backrooms story is still identified as of 2023. Backrooms images are an example of liminal spaces.
The Expressionist is a story that was added to the creepypasta Tumblr in June of 2012. The story is set in June of 1972, where a woman appeared in the Citizen Sinai Medical Center, wearing only a gown drenched in blood. The woman had a mannequin-like face and a kitten clamped in her jaw. She pulled the animal out and threw it aside and then collapsed. The doctors decided that sedating her would be the best option. After attempting to sedate her, the woman rose from the bed. The staff attempted to restrain her. They did not stop her from brutally massacring and cannibalizing the entirety of the present personnel using her sharp teeth. One female doctor that survived the encounter with the quote unquote expressionless woman, of course, nicknamed her the expressionless.
Mereana Mordegard Glesgorv is the title of a 20-second long video uploaded to YouTube in 2008 by a user called Ayuwoki. It duplicates footage with a red filter of a man silently staring into the camera. A slightly longer version was later produced, duplicating the man silently smirking towards at the end. This was accompanied with a short story which claimed that several viewers who saw the footage in its entirety, which ran for approximately 2 minutes, were driven insane by what they saw, cutting out their eyes and mailing them to YouTube's headquarters. The man seen in the video was later identified as Byron Cortez, a citizen of the United States Virgin Islands.
The Russian sleep experiment. The Russian sleep experiment tells of Soviet agents and scientists experimenting on both political prisoners and prisoners of the war during World War II, in which the prisoners are kept in a sealed off room which was filled with an experimental gas to prevent sleep. This mysterious gas turns the prisoners into a violent zombie like monsters. Most of them proceeded to either mutilate themselves by tearing out their own flesh, most of them turned insane, and others just stopped speaking entirely. In the end, the commander demands a researcher to enter the room and start killing the prisoners, with one of them uttering, "So nearly free. We are the creatures that appear at your nightmares. We are the creatures that appear on your bed every time you go to bed. We're everywhere, and we will be everywhere before they die."
Torture soup, or oh my god, torture soup or blank room soup is a video in which a man is seen
Reluctantly,
reluctantly eating a bowl of soup with a large spoon. Midway through the video, the man begins sobbing uncontrollably, while two masked people caresses his head and back. There are several theories about the clip. One of them affirms that the man who appears in the video had to endure 4 days of starvation, and then he was forced to eat the remains of his deceased wife and children.
the Rake. The Rake was an urban legend and more of a creepypasta story that has been told countless times by various people. The story goes like this. It starts with a police report of a woman with a story that the police do not know whether to believe or not. But this is her story. 3 years ago, I had just returned from a trip from Niagara Falls with my family for the 4th of July. We were all very exhausted after a long day of driving, so my husband and I put the kids right into bed and called it a night. At about 4 a.m., I woke up thinking my husband had got up to use the restroom. I used the moment to steal back the sheets, only to wake him in the process. I apologized and told him that I thought he got out of bed. When he turned to face me, he gasped and pulled his feet from the end of the bed so quickly his knee almost knocked me out of bed. He then grabbed me and said nothing. After adjusting to the dark for half a second, I was able to see what caused the strange reaction. At the foot of the bed, facing away from us, there was what appeared to be a naked man or a large, hairless dog of some sort. Its body proportion was disturbing and unnatural, as if it had been hit by a car or something. For some reason, I was not instantly frightened by it, but more concerned as to its condition. At this point, I was somewhat under the assumption that we were supposed to help him. My husband was peering over his arm and knee, tucked into the fetal position, occasionally glancing at me before returning to the creature. In a flurry of motion, the creature scrambled around the side of the bed and then crawled up quickly in a flailing sort of motion right along the bed until it was less than a foot from my husband's face. The creature was completely silent for about 30 seconds, just looking at my husband. The creature then placed its hand on its knee and ran into the hallway leading to the kids' bedrooms. I screamed and ran for the light switch, planning to stop him before he hurt my children. When I got to the hallway, the light from the bedroom was enough to see it crouching and hunched over 20 feet away. He turned around and looked directly at me, covered in blood. I flipped the switch on the wall and saw my daughter Clara. The creature ran down the stairs while my husband and I rushed to help our daughter. She was very badly injured and spoke only once more in her short life. She said in a very weak tone and muttered the words, "He is the Rake."
The story does come with an accompanying image, but you may not want to see it after reading the full story. Though in the end, you may not have a choice.
Ananis's Goatman story. Based on Native American legend, this creepypasta was originally found on 4chan's paranormal board. The story follows a teenager who goes down to Alabama to be with his extended family, while he, his cousins, and their friends are camping out in the woods. They see a strange figure, the Goatman, jerking and spouting gibberish as it follows them. They spend the rest of the night in fear as the Goatman slowly infiltrates their group, terrorizing the teens into a frenzied state of paranoia. The mix of pre-existing lore and new narratives is not rare for creepypastas, but it's the strength of the writing that really makes a particular story worth sharing. There are variants of the story, but most follow a similar formula where a group is stalked by the titular monster with different outcomes. And that's it for the video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed, and glad to hear these. If you want to hear more stories, again, remember to comment down below if you want to see another video like this. And just know that this video is probably going to be long. So if you guys want a part 2, you better stick the whole way through it, man. Get some popcorn, get an icy, I don't know. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed listening to the stories, and thanks for watching. Alright, Lucid, I'm gonna leave it to you.
Sorry, man. I'm just trying to sneeze. But yeah, guys, have a good one, and make sure Super Saiyan Goku